Show you how to make a French knitting loom out of a toilet paper roll and some popsicle sticks, and then I'm going to show you how to knit a long tubular thing. You can call it a skinny scarf. Some people make like stuffed snakes or draft catchers out of them, but whatever you want to call it, I'll show you how to make it here. The first thing you're going to need is a toilet paper roll. I don't know if you noticed that you can't see the toilet paper roll coming down here because you don't need this whole roll. The popsicle sticks will give you the body that you need to grab onto this, to hold on to it while you're knitting. So we're going to just cut this in half. And I'm going to pull off a piece of duct tape about this long, because I just happen to know from experience that that's about how long the duct tape needs to be to wrap around all the popsicle sticks and the tube at one time. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to arrange my popsicle sticks on this piece of duct tape. And you want to make sure your popsicle sticks are not too high. If you make them really high, look at how they're like a half an inch or maybe slightly less than a half an inch. If you get them too high, it's really hard to pull the stitches up over the sticks. So you want to just have that much above the tape. And I'm kind of using the little lines. I don't know if you can see that because I look closely at a piece of duct tape. You can see that there's some vertical lines. I'm using the vertical lines to kind of help me line up my sticks. You don't want to have quite one popsicle stick's width in between, but almost. You want to have enough space in between so that you can get the yarn through there. And I also happen to know from experience that I need between 8 and 9 of these sticks, depending on how evenly I space my sticks. So I'll start with 9, and then I will do a little test with my cardboard roll to see if that's enough. And if it's not, then I'll add a 9th stick. Seven. Also, I want to point out, sometimes popsicle sticks come with, or maybe we should call them craft sticks because they actually bought them at the store. See how rough that is? If you end up with a rough or splintered end, use the other end because you don't want your yarn catching on that. Okay, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's see if that's enough. I'm going to turn this way, and I'm going to take my cardboard roll. This is a toilet paper roll, but you can use paper towel rolls cut into smaller lengths. If you wanted to make a hat, you could use bigger rolls. You could even use this. You could, I don't know, if you were to turn this into a knitting loom like this, you could get a wider scarf, something that would flatten out to about that wide, and it'd be double ply. So it doesn't have to be a toilet paper tube. Once you learn how to do this, you can make all different kinds of sizes. And look, I have a gap in there where I could actually fit 2 more popsicle sticks. So I'm going to unroll that before I tape it up. And add 2 more sticks. Oh, look, this one has splintery ends on both ends. I'm going to set that aside and not use it. I'm going to get a better one. That one, also defective. This one looks better. So I'm going to use this. This might have been a little fatter than the last tube that I used, which is why 9 won't be enough. Let's see if that works now. And just enough space. between those last two sticks. All right, and then I'm just going to kind of press that down. And now I have another knitting loom made out of a cardboard roll and some popsicle sticks. All right, so the easy part is done. Now I'm going to take my yarn, drop it down through the center hole, and have some hanging out, and I'm going to hold on to that like that. I'm just going to hold on to it. Now I'm going to wrap these counterclockwise from the back. Actually, clockwise. I'm going to come around my post this way, then I'm going to go around the back of the next one clockwise, come around the front, go around the back, come around the front, go around the back, come around the front, go around the back, and I just keep doing that until I get all the way back to the beginning. Okay. See how I used my thumb there to hold on to that to keep it from slipping? All right, now I've gone all the way around once, so now I'm going to pull this around, and I'm going to take my bottom loop and pull it up over my top loop. Okay, then I'm going to go to the left, take my bottom loop, pull it back over my top loop. And you're just doing this with your fingers, right? Take my bottom loop, pull it up over my top loop. Just keep doing that. You're going to do this about 1,000,000 times until you knit up, I don't know, maybe not all of that yarn, but as much as it takes to get the length that you want. Going around, keep going around. And notice I'm not doing it so tight that I can't get my loop up over the top of the post. Trouble getting it to wrap around, just hold it down with your thumb. Keep going around. Notice how I also sort of run it across the top and then secure it with my finger on the other side just to make sure it doesn't slip. Going around. Pull it up over the top. Now, if you have a student who has issues with, or if you are a person who has issues with, manual dexterity, and that motion right there is difficult. I have known people who use a crochet hook to do this, and if I were doing this at home, I might do that, but I am teaching this to my high school students, and they all have number 2 pencils, usually, on a good day. So I've taught them how to do this with a pencil. Grab the bottom loop, put your finger on the top to keep the top loop from slipping off, and just keep going. Sometimes that can really speed up this process. Oh look, there's a rough spot. Snagged my yarn. Easy to pull it off. Okay. Up and over. Now I'm going to do this a lot of times. And look at how, if you look down the center, you can see the body of the knit starting to form, and it's going to continue to grow, and then it's going to drop right out of the bottom of this, and it'll just keep going. See how long it takes to get length on this. I'm going to keep doing this until you can see it coming out of the bottom, just so you can get an idea of how long it takes. Now when you pull your bottom loop up, remember, you're going to pull the bottom one back down with your thumb. You're going to put your finger on the top of the post to keep the bottom loop from riding up over the post like this. See? Oh no, this is a good time for that to happen. Okay, so I dropped a stitch, but it just took me backwards one, so I'm going to just redo that stitch. I was kind of hoping for a dropped stitch so I could show you what to do if something comes off. Dropping a stitch can really derail a beginner, but it's not that big a deal. It really isn't. Show you how not big a deal it is, I'm going to intentionally drop a stitch back here. Okay, oh no, I dropped a stitch. Oh look, it even came undone. All right, so what do? I'm going to take my pencil, look for that loop. Look, there's my loop. I'm going to pick it up, put it back on the post. So there my loop is back on the post. Now I have this free hanging piece here. What do I do with that? I put it back in front of the post and knit it back in. No problem. No harm, no foul. Go around. Of course, now one thing that beginners do that kind of hangs them up is they wrap the yarn too tight, and so it becomes really hard to get your bottom piece of yarn up over the top piece. See how easily that's happening? And then what will happen is their whole thing will jump off the posts, in which case you just have to match up the loops with the posts the way I just showed you with that one drop stitch. And keep going. There's no need to start over. Okay. Look, we're growing. We've got more of our little knitted piece. It's about 1 inch long in there now. Oh, I just dropped a stitch. No problem. Put it back on the post. Sometimes, as it gets longer, you can even pull it from the bottom to get it to be a little more snug on the posts. Oh look, a dropped stitch. That back. See how easy that was to just knit it right back in? Now back around this side. one wanted to jump off, and it did jump off. Oh, and it pulled. Yep. I'm going to pause this and get some length going on here and come back when I've got it coming out the bottom, okay? Okay, so as you can see, I have a few inches of this knitted material coming out of the bottom of my knitting loom, and it looks like, you know, the skinniest sweater in the entire world. So it took me about 10 or 15 minutes to make this much knitted material. So it's really pretty quick. You just keep, you know, wrapping from the back. Secure it with your finger on the other side. Pick it up with the pencil or your fingers or a crochet hook. Just keep going and keep going. And you could do a little math if you wanted to figure it out. That's about, what, 4.5 inches, 4 inches in 10 minutes. So if I wanted to do 3 feet of skinny scarf, that's 36 inches divided by 4 is 90 minutes. So 90 minutes to make a 3-foot scarf using this method. All right. Have fun knitting.